Alrighty, Bass Nation, time to do another unboxing. This one's a little unique. I ordered something a little after Thanksgiving, first week of Christmas, to make my bait making hobby a little bit easier to do. So we're going to do a little bit of an unboxing here of what they call the Shooting Star Ultra Molds. Puts it on ultramolds.com, Shooting Star system. It's going to make bait making so much faster and so much easier. Alright, so first of all, open the box. It's packaged really well. And I ordered 3 different injectors. This one is either the 2-to-1 or the 3-to-1. So if you notice, the tubes are different sizes. So when we're shooting laminates, if we want like green pumpkin on the back of a crawl and orange or something like that on the belly, but you want the green pumpkin to kind of wrap around and only do a thin stripe of orange, it's like a 2-to-1 ratio, so we cannot do a 50-50 mixture as well. I got the 50-50 and the 3-to-1 injectors in this box somewhere too, so here's to unbox. Alright, so this is probably one of the other injectors. This tube on the other side is even smaller, so this must be the 3-to-1, so 75% one color, 25% the other. So we can put even a thinner strip of coloring on one side and have more predominant top color. So this is probably going to be used a lot on swim baits. So, 75% of it's going to be a darker color with a lighter belly or something like that. So interested to play with this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Next up in the box is one of my heater blocks. So what this will do is it plugs into a heater conduit of some sort. Haven't unwrapped that yet. And then you stand the injector when you're not using it inside this, and it keeps it warm so you don't have to constantly clear out your injector and re-microwave stuff. It's just going to keep it warm and ready to roll, so that's going to be nice. Okay, so here's the heater system for the stand that I just showed. It plugs in there and you set the temperature to whatever you need, and then it keeps that injector warm. So this hooks together, plugs into the wall, and it will keep those injectors warm, which keeps the plastic residue that's still in the injector ready to be. So next up, we have the 2-tank system. It's a really neat system. Once I get it all set up, I'll show you. But like I was saying, say we want to do 2 different colors at the same time. We can be pulling 2 different colors out of the middle. It draws from each pot. Or we can shoot just the black, or just the blue, or just the green pumpkin, just the chartreuse by itself, or we can mix them with those dual injectors that have the different ratios, so to make pouring multiple colors and 2 single colors really fast. Next up, we have our last injector. This is a 50-50 injector, so when we're doing colors of equal percentages, so especially like your Cincos, you want half the worm chartreuse, half the worm green pumpkin, or half the worm black, half the worm blue, whatever it is. This is a 50-50 ratio, so it's going to be evenly matched throughout the whole worm when you laminate it. Next up, in the bottom of the box, we have the base. So this is where both pots sit on. All the plugins are for all your motors, your heaters, and all that stuff are right here. So I'm going to try to get this all put together, and we'll show you what's next. Okay, so there was some hardware, and there is some assembly required. So I've got these on. I don't have them tight yet because they got to be adjusted. Got the heater cables ready to be able to plug into the back of the machine. Now I'm going to assemble it together and show you what it looks like. One thing I did want to point out before I flip this over and mount it to it, the screws came in the box with these. So screws and washers on both of those. I haven't tightened them down yet. And there's 4 pedestal legs that screw on to each end. And then when you flip it over, you're going to put the other longer screws in through here, here, and here. That way it stays stable. And then you'll adjust those brackets here where you need them for your injector to. Alright, so I've got the mounts, or the base plate with the mounts all screwed down. I've got the tanks screwed down to the base plate. Got all my injectors heating up. Now it's time to install the motors and the 2 stir sticks that will constantly stir inside these tanks. So we'll be able to add plastic in and out of this little slide, which I'll have to loosen up. It looks like it's tight. And then the motors mount right here and go through the hole and constantly stir, keeping your plastic warm and ready to go with no air bubbles. All right, got it all installed. I went ahead and took the stir motors out because I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up with soft plastic. One of my favorite colors is green pumpkin with a chartreuse back, so I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a little bit of that and see how they turn out. I did have to flip these brackets around, so it's very important that those hold in your injector. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. So nice and tight against the fitting, so that way no plastic spills out. So I had to flip those around. I wasn't paying attention when I installed them until I went to tighten them up, and I was like, oh, they're backwards. So everything's ready to roll. We'll fill this up with plastic. We'll put the motors back in. We'll flip them on. We'll heat it up to 330 and then bring it back down to, the 315, 310 range. So let's see how they turn. Mixing up a small batch of chartreuse and black flake for the bottom. It won't be quite that yellow because I haven't heated it up yet, so the clearness is not into the plastic, so it looks a little bit more yellow than it will be. All right, we're not going to make a whole bunch just because I've got dinner plans tonight. I just want to make sure the machine's working, so that way when we are ready to pump out some baits, we're ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 batches of that. All right, mix up batch number 2 here. Put this bad boy back in. Tighten her down. Oops, sorry. Tighten her down and let's get her stirring. Okay, so it's stirring at a decent pace. And now we're going to mix up some green pumpkin and a little bit of black and gold flake and put it on top. All right, so mixed up a little bit of green pumpkin and black. Gonna add a little bit of gold flake to it as well on the next mix. Get it poured in. And pour up in a second batch, and then we should be. Alrighty, the green pumpkin gold's mixed up. It's gonna mix with the green pumpkin black. We're gonna let that stir out for a little while. Heat up to 330, and then let's inject some baits and see how this shooting star really works. It's been about 10 minutes, and it's already to 213 degrees roughly, and climbing pretty quick, so it should only be a few more minutes before it gets to 300. Alright, we got her up to temp. Now we're going to shoot some baits and see how they turn. Alright, just shot the green pumpkin, golden black flake with a chartreuse black flake for the test. The machine's running, got her set at 305, so it looks like it's going to hold steady at about 307, 308. So let's see what they look. Okay, so one side is green pumpkin, one side is chartreuse. Now that was with the 50-50 blending, which you can tell right down the sprue here. It's 50-50. We can do 1/3, 2/3, and we can also do 75%, 25%. So if we wanted a little bit less of that chartreuse on the belly and just a thin line down the middle, we could use that 75-25. But can't wait to play with this some more. I'm going to open up the other molds and show you what they turned out like. Alright, these are the Ned heads, or Ned rigs. So one side green pumpkin, the other side chartreuse. Alright, these are the 5-inch Cincos. So green pumpkin one side, chartreuse the other. I had the plastic a little too hot, so it kind of swirled. Need to get it down around 300 before shooting next time. But it didn't laminate very good, but it did mix a cool looking color. So if we get the temperatures dialed in, this is all a learning curve. They said you have to play with it a little bit to find out the right settings for your plastic. Each machine's slightly different, but I can tell I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this machine. This is the 6.75 roundworm. So this is the chartreuse side. And the other side's green pumpkin. So the sprue laminated real good, so the plastic was probably starting to cool off. And there's the green pumpkin side. Real nice line all the way down. So that was probably closer to when we got it to the 310 mark. So it's starting to laminate better. These are my punching crawls. So green pumpkin one side, chartreuse the other. This one here is the brush hogs. Green pumpkin one side, chartreuse the other. See how it laminated right down that body? So we were definitely getting towards that 310 mark, which is a lot better laminate. Looks like when we shot the first couple ones at 330, they kind of swirled and not laminated. So this is going to be a lot of fun to figure out. Anybody wants to put in some color requests to see me make them, I would love to give my effort now that I have this machine. The machine featured in this video is the Shooting Star by ultramolds.com. It does take 3 or 4 months to get, so if it's something you're wanting to get into hardcore, you got to definitely plan for it. So this next one that we're going to try shooting is the 75-25, or otherwise known as the 3-to-1. Let's see how that. Alright, so just did 2 shots, waiting for, I'm going to go ahead and let this cool out so I can clean it out because I got dinner plans. Get it all cleaned up, and then let's open these molds, the 75-25. Alright, so this is a 75% chartreuse and 25% green pumpkin. So I actually made it backwards, not knowing which one it pulled from when I filled the machine, so I should have done chartreuse on the left of the pot, looking back at it, because I actually wanted to do a thin line of chartreuse, but you get the concept. So it's a real thin line of green pumpkin and a lot of chartreuse.